How many of us remember Corona every day? We even don't realize it happened. That's how our constitution is. The soul is always looking for happiness, and when you overcome certain set of unhappiness, over time you forget that. Some of us might have gone through surgeries also in our life, maybe big surgery, but when you get fine, everything is okay, you forget all of that. You do, right? You overcome relationship breaks over time and things heal, because it's just like season. It will come and go. So when there is too much happiness in life, you should not start rejoicing like crazy, or when there is too much sadness, then you should not overreact. This world was created by whom? God. And who created the world is saying that this world is full of happiness and distress, so these come in cycle. So if things come in cycle, we should become what? Unaffected by them. Think that you and the situation are one, then you will also be like the situation. If the situation is worse, you also become worse. If you separate from the situation and then look at the situation from a distance and with some intelligence, then automatically examples. And I mean, I'm not asking your personal example, meaning what problems you're facing, but you want to raise your hand and just talk through like what, maybe your friend's example or something that you can just talk about. What does it mean by being overwhelmed? And what's that feeling of being overwhelmed? What is that? Anyone would like to try? Have you felt overwhelmed? Yes or no?
Yes.
Related to what? Maybe probably these 4 categories or something similar.
There is a problem very frequently, like one by one, and there is no end to it. Like when you face it for like maybe 6 months or 7 months, every month if you have a new problem to face or to solve,
then you become overwhelmed. That's a good point. So let's say you have a problem and that gets solved, then you are not overwhelmed. But Mataji's point, like if the problem keeps coming one after the other, then you become overwhelmed, because now you have lost the power to fight against those problems, right? Then you become overwhelmed. So it's a very common thing, and it happens with every one of us, right?
Maybe you can also explain what overwhelm means, because I think,
Sure. So if you go into the details of like what overwhelms means, so right now, let's say I am peaceful because everything around me is fine. Now let's say someone stands up and says, "Hey, get out of the class. We don't want to listen to you. You don't know anything," or something bad about me. Then at that point, I'll become little stressful, right? Because now things are not going my way. So the reason you become overwhelmed is when things do not go your way. I'm cooking, and then wherever I touch, like everything gets burnt, right? I'm cooking chapati, it's getting burnt. I'm cooking sabji, I don't have ingredients, or I forgot to put salt. Or if I'm cooking kheer, salt and sugar look same in the US, right? They're powdered. so I may put salt. It once happened. Someone cooked the feast for Sunday, and then he made kheer. So he made kheer, yeah, and he put salt, and you put salt in the same quantity as sugar, because he thought it was sugar. So he put like 3 or 4, whatever, 7, 8 cups of salt, and he made nice kheer. And then it was served out also. People were, no, give me more, like people are taking. And then I went for my son also, give me pack it also, and they are like taking it. And then when they finally taste it, so the problem is, why are we overwhelmed? We are overwhelmed because 1, things are not going our way, and 2, we don't have the power to solve it. Then you become overwhelmed, right? If you don't have the power, if you have the power, right? If you lost 100 rupees, will you be overwhelmed? You'll not be overwhelmed. Maybe, yeah. I mean, 100, not $100, 100 rupees. 100 rupees not. If it's $1,000, might. But if you're earning, let's say, $10,000 a month, then you may not be overwhelmed. So it's again based on situation. So overwhelmed, not overwhelmed, they are based on situations, right? How do we, the big question now again is, how do we not be affected by this? How is it possible? Can you think of something? Huh? We have to face that. That's true. But in that moment, in that situation, right?
whatever God gives me is for my good. But still, Prabhu, it's
Acceptance.
really hard for at that moment.
Yes,
It's really, really hard.
exactly. So at that moment it's tough, but then it's all about practice. So it's not that was the only last situation that we are facing which is problematic, and then after that it's going to be all right all the time. Like when we were in 5th standard, we were told study hard for your board exams. After that, life is chill. I mean, there's no you once you get 90 plus, 95 plus. In our time, 90 plus was 90 plus. Your life is set. That's it. And then you were like, okay, 10th standard, we'll finish, and then life will be set. Then it started with, now you have to choose PCM or PC, whatever, biology, PCB, or accounts. Yeah. And then arts is like, if you don't get anything, you generally like, that was the whole thought process. Like, or unless you were like really into arts, then and you had a passion, then you would definitely take arts, and you might be a brilliant student and you take arts. But otherwise, for the Lalaji's kids, like they would would only want to do business.
Prabhuji, were both art students.
Oh, so sorry, Prabhuji. Again, I say like there could be brilliant students who would want to take art. I'm just like how it goes in India. Like there's a stereotype. Hare Krishna. There's a stereotype. Yeah, so there's second category following. So how it generally goes is like in India, arts generally is the last, because all the decision of which field of study to take is based on
How much money?
which profession gets you more money. If you get into arts, you may not make more money. So the whole race is about making more money. Why is it that it's all about making more money?
Comfortable.
Yeah, because we think that if we have more money, then we'll solve all the problems of life, right? If that's not the case, then we would not run after money. We run after money because we think it will solve every problem of our life, right? So that's why we're running behind that. And again, if you look at academic pressure, is it indirectly tied to what? It's tied to money. It's tied to money. If you have a really good family business, if you have a big industry, your father has an industry, you think you'll be worried about getting less marks in your exams? You won't be worried at all. You would just need to clear your exams so that at least you have some social status to say, okay, I'm a graduate, right? Not like metric fail, right? So that academic pressure is again because of money. Career uncertainty,
Money.
this is also money. Relationship struggles, maybe money or maybe not money, but money is still there. It plays a big factor in relationship struggles, because after the relationship breaks or divorce or something, then what comes? Money, alimony, this and that. It's about money. Something is there. It's about money, right? Financial worries is about financial worries, right? It's about money. So what's that? Please share. How do you go to the next slide with this?
Drown.
Okay. So how do we overcome this? So we overcome this through the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, and that's the whole theme about these presentations, that we take the teachings of Bhagavad Gita and try to implement those in our practical life. That way it's easier for us to understand Bhagavad Gita and also to implement it, right? There are two things. One is called Jnana and the other is called Vijnana. What does Jnana mean? Jnana means knowledge. And what does Vijnana means? Applied knowledge, right? So you may become a mechanical engineer. So that is knowledge. But unless you actually work on something, you fix something, what is the point of being a mechanical engineer? You may be an artist, but you never drew something. And then you may keep shouting, I'm an artist, or you put like a writing here, I'm an artist. Doesn't mean, or you know music, but you never play music. How do we know that? Or how do people around you know that you know music, right? So anything and everything that, a quality that you possess, unless that comes out, there is no point, right? So Vijnana means practical application of knowledge. So if you apply Jnana, that becomes Vijnana. Vigyan in Hindi, Vigyan means science, right? And initially when I heard this Gyan, Vigyan, I'm like, both are the same thing. Jnana and Vijnana. Vigyan means, in Hindi, like it means science, right? But in Sanskrit, Vigyan means applied knowledge, right? So Bhagavad Gita 2:14 says this material world is temporary, right? So we become overwhelmed because of happiness or because of sadness? Has anyone become overwhelmed by happiness? You got a job today. Tomorrow you had a son took birth, and the day after, I don't know, someone like you don't like passed away or whatever. So every day something good is happening. The next day India won the World Cup, right? And every day there is some good news. Do you become overwhelmed? Are you not able to take it? You go crazy. Oh, it's so much happiness, I cannot take it anymore. Does that happen to you? Why does only sadness or unhappiness bring about overwhelming situation?
We expect something and we don't get it.
Huh?
We expect something.
We expect something, we don't get it. That's true. But why not you become overwhelmed by happiness?
It's what we expect.
So
Sometimes even happiness we don't expect. Suddenly something might come.
Something might come suddenly also, right? But even if that is not expected, we don't get overwhelmed. So the reason is that soul always wants to be happy. You want to be happy. We don't want to be sad. We don't say, oh, so many good things are going on. God, please give me some trouble also. Right? My job is going on fine. I've been getting promotions. So how about I get laid off next month? That thought will never come to your mind, right? Or I'm getting so like 90 plus. How about I get a supply in like one subject? What do you call supply here? Supplement. Huh? Or you fail in one subject. I'm like, I've never failed in one subject. Let me see how it feels like if I retake. You call it retake here? Okay. So how about I get a retake? So those things don't come to our mind. But only things that make us happy comes to our mind. Why? If there is an ant running around, you try to like put a finger in front of it. What's the ant going to do? It's going to change its path, right? If there is a fire and there are ants moving, they'll try to avoid the fire, right? Animals, when they are in captivity, do they feel happy or sad? They're always sad. Why? But when they are in the wild and they're out, they're always happy, right? So it's with every living entity. It's not just about human beings. So our nature is to be happy. We as souls want to be. Why? Because one of the ingredients of the soul, like not ingredients, yeah. So the soul is made up of Sat, Chit, and Anand. So when your nature is Anand, 1/3 of your nature, or I don't know, it's 100 plus 100 plus 100 is equal to 100, but whatever. Ananda is one of the innate nature of the soul. So it's always looking for happiness, and that's why we are not looking for like sadness, or we're not looking for a bad situation in our life. We are always looking forward to happiness in life, because that's the nature of the soul. But do we get unhappiness? Why is that? And now it's a question. Can someone answer, like, why do we get unhappiness if we don't want it?
Karma, past karma.
Past karma. Okay. What else? What else can you think of?
Learn lessons.
Learn lessons or testing.
Okay, that's another good point. Yeah. To test, like, who is testing us? Krishna. Okay, God. Yes. What else? It's the same point. Okay.
So we want to go back to Krishna.
You want to go back to Krishna?
So that because if we feel happy, if we feel complete happiness in this life, we'll never want to go back to Krishna.
That's a very good point. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Okay. So that contrast. Yes. Oh, what else from this side? Oh, yeah, sorry.
Since what I read is everything has to exist in opposites. Like if sadness did not exist, then we would not know what happiness is. And if happiness did not exist, we would not know what sadness meant. So I think that is also the quality, that everything has to exist in opposites for it to exist.
That's a very good point. Yeah. Good. What else? Trying to be the controller. Okay. So how does that relate to being? Oh, you want to be happy by controlling? Yes. Yeah. That's a good point. Also, yes. Very good. What else?
Maya.
Huh?
Maya, because of like the material world is like very confusing for us. So then, like, because we're always confused,
Mhm.
like what's important and what's not important,
Mhm.
and like caught up in that, it's gonna cause unhappiness.
That's one way to look at it also. Yeah. So Maya is also an energy of Krishna. So the unhappiness that we talk about, it happens here in this material world. So first of all, we need to understand that according to Bhagavad Gita, so let's first of all go to chapter 2, text 14. So can we repeat this Sanskrit? Matra sparshastu kaunteya
Matra sparshastu kaunteya
शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदाः
shitoshna sukha dukkhadah
आगमापायिनो नित्यास्
आगमापायिनो nityas
तां स्थितिक्षस्व भारत.
samsitishtva bharata.
Can someone read this translation, please?
O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer season. They arise from the sense perception, a sign of Bharata,
Mhm.
and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed.
Okay. Can someone read the purport too?
In the proper discharge of duty, one has to learn to tolerate non permanent appearances and disappearances of happiness and distress. According to Vedic injunction, one has to take his bath early in the morning, even during the month of Magha. It is very cold at that time, but in spite of that, a man who abides by the religious principles does not hesitate to take his bath. Similarly, a woman does not hesitate to cook in the kitchen in the months of May and June, the hottest part of the summer season. One has to execute his duty in spite of climate inconveniences. Similarly to fight is the religious principle of the Kshatriyas, and although one has to fight with some friend or relative, one should not deviate from his prescribed duty. One has to follow the prescribed rules and regulations of religious principles in order to rise up to the platform of knowledge, because by knowledge and devotion only can one liberate himself from the clutches of Maya. The two different names of address given to Arjun are also significant. To address him as Kaunteya signifies his great blood relations from his mother's side, and to address him as Bharata signifies his greatness from his father's side. From both sides, he is supposed to have a great heritage. A great heritage brings responsibility in the matter of proper discharge of duties, therefore, he cannot avoid fighting.
Thank you. So Krishna is addressing whom? Arjuna. And Arjuna's mother's name is? Kunti. So that's why he's Kaunteya. Kaunteya means son of Kunti. So Yudhishthira is also Kaunteya. And the other brothers are also Kaunteya. But the two brothers are not Kaunteya. Who are those? Nakul and Sadev. They are sons of Madri. Okay. And their father's name is Pandu. So Pandu had two wives, Kunti and Madri. So Krishna is saying that just like there is winter and summer, winter and summer, they are in cycle, right? Sometimes there is winter, sometimes there is summer, and then there's again winter, and there is again summer. So Krishna is saying to Arjuna that exactly like that, happiness and distress, they come and they go. Is there anyone for whom unhappiness never goes away and there is no happiness? I mean, there's always unhappiness. Or do you see happiness and unhappiness come? Sometimes there is happiness, sometimes there is unhappiness. What do you think, or what do you feel? Is it always unhappiness, or is it always happiness, or is it always a mix or cycle? Right? So a bad example would be Greenland. It's always cold. There's always winter. I don't know if they have concept of summer or not, but maybe not. But for us human beings, it's always either happiness or distress. Sometimes we are in a situation where we are not getting a job, and it's like 2 months, 3 months. Has anyone been in that situation? 2 months, 3 months, no job, and then suddenly, you start getting leads. You get a call, the interview happens, and then things start running, and then you become hopeful, and then it goes to the end, and you're like, okay, today I'll get an offer. You wait for you check your emails. You refresh. Maybe in the spam. Let me go and check in the spam. There must be an offer letter. And then you wait for like 2 days, it's not there, then hope starts to get a little bleak. You're like, okay, maybe they hired someone else. And then one day you get an email, okay, this position has been put on hold. And then you become, of course, sad. You become shattered, right? And then another few days, and then okay, we have opened the position again, and this and that, and then you get an offer letter, and then you become happy, right? So this happiness and distress is a situation of the mind. It's a situation of the mind. There was this big fair going on in Hindi. It's called Mela. Big fair going on, and then one woman, she brought her son along with her, and then this group of boys started running to that woman, and they said, hey, whatever her name was, and then your son has actually died. In this one ride, he has died. And then she starts crying and wailing and shouting, and then suddenly another group of boys come and they say, oh, no, it was not your son, you're someone else's son. And then she becomes happy. Though someone else's son has died, but now she becomes happy, right? So it's a state of mind, right? We are reading newspaper and drinking tea and eating whatever chai wala biscuit or whatever, and then we are reading news of people drowning, a school bus has drowned, but we still continue to drink our tea and eat the cookies or whatever. Are we affected? Maybe a little bit. If we have our own kids, then maybe we'll feel the pain, but thousands of millions of people are dying around us. Do we become affected? No. But as soon as it happens to someone we know, then it starts to affect us. But in both cases, people are dying. But why are we affected only when it happens to like someone close to us? Why?
Because we have an attachment.
We are attached. And that same person, if that same person that you are now feeling bad for, like for example, your friend, and you are really feeling bad for that person, oh, he's in trouble, so, and you are, very compassionate towards him, and then suddenly like another few months and he becomes your enemy for whatever reason. He took like 10 lakh rupees from you and is not returning it now, and then he becomes sick, and then you like, very good, ऐसा ही होना चाहिए. He should get like 7 degree whatever temperature, or 107 temperature, and then you become the same person, same everything. Situation changes, your mind also changes, and then you start perceiving things differently, right? So your perceiving of things is actually based on your mind. This world was created by whom? God. And who created the world is saying that this world is full of happiness and distress, so these come in cycle. So if things come in cycle, we should become what? Unaffected by them. Do we start crying when there is winter? Or do we become really sorry when summer is coming? We tolerate it. Now we have learned, right? Since childhood, we have learned that, okay, it's winter time, we have to take a shower with hot water. It's cold, like we have to take like normal tap water, right? So as kids, we grow up, we start to learn all of these things, and then we become acquainted. Okay, summer is there, winter is going to come, this and that. But similarly, Krishna is saying that do the same thing when you have happiness and distress in your life. Don't think that now that you are in unhappiness, it will last forever. Will it last forever? No. How long did the World War last? Do you remember? Like not you were there, but how long did it last? 5 or 6 some years, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. So those who were in that period of time, for them, that time would have felt an eternal period. But after that, when everything ended, then things came to normal. Then people start forgetting also. Like, how many of us remember Corona every day? We were through Corona, right? All of us. Do you remember Corona every day? Sometimes even don't realize it happened, right? And that's how our constitution is. The soul is always looking for happiness, and when you overcome certain set of unhappiness, over time you forget that. Some of us might have gone through surgeries also in our life, maybe big surgery, but when you get fine, everything is okay, you forget all of that. You do, right? You overcome relationship breaks over time and things heal. Why? Because it's just like season. It will come and go. So when there is too much happiness in life, you should not start rejoicing like crazy. Or when there is too much sadness, then you should not overreact and think, okay, everything is gone now, where's the blade? So you should not just start taking extreme steps or become depressed. Things will change. Just have patience, right? That's the game. Nothing in this world stays permanent. Today someone is a billionaire, Forbes 500, whatever 50 list, Forbes 50 list, and then next day he might be out of the list. Someone else will replace him. Have you seen that YouTube chart, like where the ranking things happen? Yeah, the graph will go up and down, right? If you look at the pop artists, then here Michael Jackson here, and then this year is going up and Michael Jackson is like coming, and he's like, his graph is the biggest, and all others are like falling behind, right? And then again, then whatever 1990s, then Michael Jackson coming down, then he's gone, then someone else is going up, right? This world is like, it's transient. Things are going up and down. Salesforce was a big company. It's still a big company, but is it doing really good? Maybe not. Initially, when it came in, it just revolutionized how CRM worked, right? But now see how there are other solutions coming up. Adobe CEO resigned, right? He may still continue till someone else comes. But why did he resign? Of course, 7% loss and stocks falling. Why? AI is there. There's so many other factors. But the point I'm trying to make is nothing is permanent, right? Nothing is permanent. So if nothing is permanent, then we should not stress about life being difficult, because life will be okay again. So we should do our duty without stress. So there are two ways to work. Either you be stressful and work, or just like in government offices, when you go to make your ration card or whatever, like it's always a stressful situation. But if you go to private banks, they are paid to be, oh sir, welcome, please come. But if you go to like the government banks, line dikhta nahi hai, wahan jayega. You go stand there, right? You came 30 minutes before, go back. Oh, I am having lunch, go. So whatever, like, so they will make you feel miserable, right? But there are two ways to do things. Either you do it stressful way, or you do it in a happy way, or unattached way, peaceful way, right? So what does 2.47 say? Does anyone remember this verse? Karmanyevadikaraste. Someone remembers the whole verse? Other than the front benchers. There's no bench, but what? Anyone remembers this verse? Okay, front benchers. You remember the whole verse?
कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफल हेतुर्भुर् मा ते संगोष्ठम कर्मणि.
Very nice. So that verse means what? Let's go to that verse. Karmanye eva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhur ma te sangostva karmani. So Krishna is giving this knowledge to Arjuna, not in a room like this. Did Bhagavad Gita happen in a room like this? Or was there a PPT going on? No, where did it happen? In a battlefield. Imagine, our scripture, Bhagavad Gita, is spoken on a battlefield. So that means the teachings of Bhagavad Gita are for active life. It was not given in the Himalayas. Krishna did not ask Arjuna, sit on the chariot, let's go to Himalayas. And there is this cave I have reserved for us, and there we will discuss Bhagavad Gita. Right? It hasn't been spoken for a long time. It was forgotten. Now, Arjun, I'll speak it to you, and then we'll talk about Bhagavad Gita. No, Bhagavad Gita began with a question and a situation. Right? We all know that. It was spoken on the battlefield. Did the battle start already, or it was about to start? It was about to start. So what was the need of this knowledge for Bhagavad Gita? There was distress, and Arjuna was not willing to fight. Why was he not willing to fight?
Because he's attached with
He was attached to his relatives. And what else?
he didn't want to kill all the relatives. That is
Yeah, I mean, attached to that's one thing, same thing. But you want to say something? Okay, why did Arjuna not want to fight?
He said it's not moral.
It's not moral. Okay, so let's say there is a cricket match between India and some other, like let's say Pakistan. Has it ever happened that Rohit Sharma says, no, I'm not going to play, He's overwhelmed. No, they are there. They already decided there's going to be a fight. So they are there. All the armies are there. It's not like that Arjuna is alone going there and now deciding, okay, should I go and fight or not? Let me see. No, all the armies, everyone is ready. They have weapons in hand, and there are millions of soldiers here on the other side. Yes, ma'am.
I think it's because like he didn't understand the cycle of birth and death. So he thought that like if he kills his relatives, then they're not going to be reborn.
Yeah, that's one point. Yes. So, but Arjuna, of course, he was a pure devotee. He knew all the philosophy. But even if he knew the philosophy, still at that point he became overwhelmed. Why? Because Arjuna, when he came to the battlefield, he asked Krishna what? He said, Krishna, please bring me to the middle of the two armies. I want to see who are against us and willing to fight against, like who are standing in our opposite party and willing to fight against us. And they are whom? They are the sons of Dhritarashtra. And Dhritarashtra were what? Dhritarashtra's sons were cousins or just standard enemies? They were like cousins, right? It was a family, right? So have you ever lived in a joint family or seen someone with joint family? Like the uncle's sons are there, the sisters are there, like this. It's a huge big family. So similarly, they grew up together. Arjuna, Duryodhan, Dushasan, they grew up together. It was not like they for first time meeting on the battlefield or they were enemies. So when Arjuna was brought in a very strategic position, from that position he saw Bhishma Dev. Who was Bhishma Dev? Not Mukesh Khanna. Who was Bhishma Dev? Huh? Grandfather. Do we know our history? Other than like who our own grandfather is like. So Arjuna's father's name was Pandu. Pandu's father was? Very good. Pandu's father was? Actually his father was fathered by Vedavyas, but Vichitra Virya was the, yeah. So Vichitra Virya's wife was Satyavati.
No, Amba, Ambika and
Amba, Ambika, Ambalika were the wives of Vichitra Virya. Right. Yes. Oh, his mother was Satyavati. Was his mother, and Satyavati's son was also Vyasadeva. So Satyavati was actually born from a fish, and she was called Matsya Gandha. So that fish was actually, there's a big story, and then that fish actually conceived from a king, a Kshatriya king, and that king's daughter actually conceived in the womb of the fish. And that fish, when was taken by the fishermen and they cut open the fish, they found, so basically they cut her mother and took her out, right? And then this daughter was very beautiful and her name was Matsya. They kept the name as Matsya Gandha. Matsya means? Gandha means smell. So she had the smell of fish. Because why? Because she was born of a fish. Fish ki beti, fish ka smell aayega, right? So she had a smell of fish. So when she was in her youth, Parashar Rishi saw her. Who saw her? Parashar is the father of? Is the father of Vyasadeva. And then by the arrangement of the Lord, or the divine arrangement, Parashar said, oh, you are very beautiful, I want to unite with you. But then she said, no, I am under the control of my father and I cannot do that. So he's like, no, this is by divine arrangement, and then I give you a boon that after we unite, you'll again become a virgin, and then also no one is going to see us. And so he created this. So they were going on a boat in the Yamuna because she was running this Dharmarth boat. Dharmarth boat, you know what? Without taking money, they used to cross the sages. So when Parashar Muni came, she was driving the boat and she said, okay, I'll take you to the other side of the Yamuna. And then when they were in between the river Yamuna, before reaching the other shore, Parashar said, okay, let's unite. And then at that point she said no. Then he created this Kohara. Kohara is called what? Fog. And then everywhere it was like darkness. And then immediately after he conceived, Vedavyas was born. Immediately it was not like it took him 9 months to take birth, because this was all divine arrangement. Vedavyas is an incarnation of Krishna. So immediately Vedavyas came, and then he appeared on a, what you call, an island on Yamuna. And because island is called what in Hindi? Dweep. And that's why, and because Vedavyas, when he was born, he was also dark in color. Dark means Krishna in Sanskrit. Dark means Krishna. And he was born on a island. Island means Dweep. And that's why he was called Krishna Dvaipayana. He was called Krishna Dvaipayana. And because he expanded the scriptures, there was only one Veda before Vedavyas. And he took the Vedas and expanded into many, many branches. And each branch was given to different disciples. Right? Mahabharata was given to this one Vaishampayana. Vaishampayana took, and then Shukadev Goswami took Srimad Bhagavat. And then other Jaimini took something, some took Atharva Vedas, some took Sama Vedas, some took some this and that branch of Vedas. So he expanded the Vedas. Expansion in Sanskrit is called Vyas. And that's why it's called Veda Vyas. He expanded the Vedas. So it's called Veda Vyas. So the point I'm trying to tell is that we should also know some of the history. So again back to the point. Veda Vyas was the son of Matsyagandha. So the second boon she got from Parashar was that now you will have a very beautiful fragrance from your body. And then that fragrance will spread about what? 1 yojana. 1 yojana is about 8 miles. So 8 miles, the fragrance is going to be there. Even the most expensive perfume you put on, it's only, you can smell it either in the room or maybe if someone is very close to you. It's not like you have a perfume and then in the subway station, where is that smell coming from? And then I keep falling and then I reach the Iskcon temple. No. So, and she was called then Yojan Gandha. After that, her name became Yojan Gandha because within a Yojan, 8 miles, people would know, oh, she's somewhere in the 8. Right? So then Satyavati's son was Vyasadeva also. When Vichitra Virya died, Satyavati then married Shantanu. Shantanu's son was Vichitra Virya. And then when the marriage of Satyavati happened with Shantanu, he was very depressed. And you might have seen all this Mahabharata also. Shantanu was very depressed because he wanted to marry Satyavati. But then again, okay, that's a story with Ganga Devi. So that's different. But anyways, who was Bhishma Dev? He was son of Ganga. Ganga was another wife of Shantanu. Right? And Vichitra Virya was also?
No, son of Satyavati.
But son of Shantanu. When Vichitra Virya died, and then he married two, not three. Amba, Ambalika, and Ambika. One of them became Shikhandi, Amba. We have seen all of that, right? So the point I'm trying to make is that Pandu, Dhritarashtra, and Vidur, they were conceived by whom? Vyasadeva. They are sons of Vyasadeva. So in Kali Yuga, there are 5 things you cannot do. Scriptures say that there are 5 things that you cannot do in Kali Yuga. Ashwamedha. You know Ashwamedha? What is that? It's a yajna where horse is sacrificed. Ashwamedha, Gomedha. What is Gomedha? Ashwamedham Gavalambham. Gavalambham means Gomedha. Gomedha means where cow is sacrificed. So that was happening before. So when the cows or the horse were sacrificed, it's mentioned in the Vedas that they were older cows and old horse. And when they were sacrificed, they immediately became either human or they immediately became young again. So that was the sacrifice to test the power of the mantras. So Ashwamedham Gavalambam Sannyasa. Sannyasa is also forbidden in the fake sannyasa is forbidden in Kali Yuga. Palapaitrikam. Palapaitrikam means offering oblations of flesh to the forefathers. That is forbidden. In early days, flesh was offered. Chicken or whatever mutton they would offer. And then they will like do yagyas. But that is forbidden in the Kali Yuga. Right? And then Devarena Sutotpattim. Devarena Sutotpattim means that if for some reason the husband is either incapable of producing a child or he has passed away, then his older brother can conceive in the wife a child. That was the system back then. So Vyasadeva was who? He was an older brother and from the same mother but different father. But anyways, he was an older brother. So he could by or within the laws of dharma conceive child. So we should not think otherwise. That's what I'm saying. So Vyasadeva within the rule of dharma, so that the Kuru Vansha can continue. Because Bhishma Dev said he was not going to become the king and he was never going to marry, because he said that his name became Bhishma, right? So the reason why did I go that route?
You're on a battlefield. Arjuna wanted to see who all are.
Yeah, and then we saw Bhishma Dev was in front, right? So when he saw his grandfather, then his compassion came, and then he said, I'm not going to fight. And then Krishna then starts giving him the instruction of Bhagavad Gita. So here it says karmanya eva adhikaraste. Krishna says you only have the right to do what?
Your duties.
Karma, duties. You only have the right to do your duties, and you never have the right on what? The fruits of action. You have right to do your duty, but not the right to the fruit or the result of the action. Then Krishna says ma karma phala hetur bhur. Then Krishna says you are not the result or the cause of the fruits of your action. Meaning, if I do something, I cannot control the result. And then Krishna says mate sangosva karmani. Krishna says two things, Arjuna, you should do. One, don't think that you are the doer, meaning you are the cause of the fruits of your action, and don't become attached to not doing your action. Because if I am not the doer or I'm not, if the result is not in my hand, then someone might think, oh, then why should I even do it, right? If the result is not in my hand. But Krishna says that don't become attached to not doing things, right? So that's the verse. Going back to the presentation. So there is a boat analogy. A boat is in water, right? What if the water starts coming in the boat? It will sink. So similarly, we are in this world and there are problems around us. If the problem starts entering us, then what will happen? We'll sink into depression, right? So we should keep the water out so that the boat can float. This is an ocean of misery. If we let the misery get into us, then we will drown or we will float. We will drown, meaning we will be overwhelmed. Overwhelmed. Why? Because we bring the things in our minds, misery. If you keep it out, then you're not overwhelmed. But is it easy? When the situation comes, then we fail. Almost all the time. Depending on the situation's gravity, intensity. If it's a simple situation, we might overcome. But then how do we overcome that habit of not falling into the traps of our situation? How do we overcome? Any thoughts?
By reminding this is temporary and this will pass.
Yeah, what we discussed already. But now if you, for example, let's say have you ever been in a situation where you were overwhelmed? Any one of you? And how did you come out? Can you give an example so that we can also learn from you?
I just cried on that day and the next day I look for the solution. That's what I did.
Okay. What else? Anyone else? Everyone is happy.
Time
I've been
heals.
trying to practice this. So I try to pray that Krishna, what are you trying to teach me? Like it's tough, but I try to pray like, please help me to see like what are you trying to teach me in this situation.
Mm-hmm. That's a very good point.
Keep moving.
Hmm?
Just be busy, keep moving.
Basically, distract yourself. Is that what you're saying?
I applied to one. So I applied to UC for the finance for got into some interviews. Initially they were okay with sponsorship and all. They cleared interviews. Then all of a sudden, I was going to the Kirtan on Wednesday evening. I was about to board the bus and I got a mail saying, initially we were okay with sponsorship. Unfortunately, we can't sponsor, so you are denied. So I was like, should I go to the Kirtan? At that point of time, I accept. Like initially I was like, no, I shouldn't go to Kirtan. Then I said, no, just go. Like keep moving, keep going forward. Start applying from next day morning.
Yes.
That really worked.
Very good. That means never give up. Right? That means the never give up attitude, right? What else?
Give
Yes.
time.
Huh?
Give time. Time heals.
Time heals, yeah. But
So like,
when you have time, what do you do in that time? I mean, time of course will heal.
I mean, yeah, I think that would be like never give up and continue. Just
Yeah.
continue
So
with.
yeah, of course that means giving time.
Yeah.
So yes, you were saying. Oh,
Oh, I feel like for me it's very important that like my whole system doesn't just depend on one thing. So like figuring out what else I can do to make myself feel better. So eat something, go to sleep, talk
mhm.
to like people about it, and then like also like sometimes I read the Hanuman Chalisa. I feel like that really helps. So
Good,
it's
good.
like just like trying to get yourself out of it, but trying not to focus on what happened,
Hmm.
focusing on other things just to get yourself out of it, and then trying later.
Wow, that's a very good point. And that works for you all the time.
Yeah, most of the time.
Most
Because
of
I
the time.
feel like for me, like what I've learned is that if you slow your heart rate, like, you know, if you meditate, like breathing
Mhm.
exercises, or if you just go to sleep for a few hours, it makes a big difference in the way your body reacts to it because
Hmm.
your body thinks it's in very big danger
Hmm.
because of, you know, like the way we are kind of like raised. So, or like the way evolution has happened. But
Mhm.
it's in the end, it's just a job or it's just like a smaller situation, which is not going to cost you your life probably.
Good.
So,
So basically the point Mataji is trying to make is that you detach yourself from the situation.
yeah.
Right? If you think that you and the situation are one, then you'll also be like the situation. If the situation is worse, you also become worse.
Yeah.
If you separate from the situation and then look at the situation from a distance and with some intelligence, then automatically you will sort things out. Right? And then we talk about how we sharpen our intelligence and all of that. But anything else someone wanted to share? I think maybe you raised a hand first before.
Just to add to what I said, like I said, asking Krishna what you're teaching me. So I also seek out to person who is already floating, like who seems floating to me to make
Nice.
sure
Okay, good.
that
Mhm.
I'm understanding the
So
right
getting help
message.
from
Yes.
someone else. Okay, very good.
I also say if things are already happened, if something bad has already happened, so
Mm.
there's no, I don't have any control to stop it or go
Mm.
back and change it.
Right.
So I see that I look forward and see what things that I can control to make
Mhm.
this better. For in that point or in that day, you
Mhm.
can't do it, but the
Mhm.
next day you will be able to do it, especially if you're
So you give
aware.
it time
Yeah,
basically.
if you give yourself time,
You give yourself time and then again same me. Yeah.
at
that's a
least
good
you
point.
should see that you can't control what already happened. You
Yeah.
should
So
see forward.
nothing is in our
Nothing
control.
is in
Not
our
everything
control.
is in our control. Yes. Yes.
I feel like I also, honestly, I only know one verse from the Gita by heart, and that's Nainam Chandanti Shastrani, Nainam Dahati Kal.
Hmm.
Nainam
Nainam
Chandanti
Dahati
Shastrani,
Pavakaha.
Nainam Dahati Pavakaha, Nainam. Oh my god.
Kledayanto apo
Kalayedayante Apo, Nainam Shoshayati Marutaha.
Maruta.
And I feel like that helps me a lot to like think about that, like, it's not actually that world. It's
That's
like,
true. If you go, if has ever been to Shamshan Ghat in India? Generally, women don't go to Shamshan Ghat in India, but you have been to Shamshan Ghat, like for some older person or someone, you might have been there. You would see generally they have Sanskrit Gita shlokas on the, depending on what Shamshan Ghat you have been to. If it's in the city, they don't have like walls to even write something, then you may not see it. But generally, they have these big Shamshan Ghats, they have Bhagavad Gita shlokas. And then in one temple I went, they had another shloka. And that said, if you don't give your money, then you are a thief. If you have extra money and then if you don't give that money to God, you are a thief, which is the actual verse. And that was Krishna Janma Bhumi in Mathura. It had this verse. And this verse is from the scriptures. And it says that if you have enough money, extra money, and you're keeping it with yourself and not giving it for a good cause, then you are stena. Stena means thief. You are a thief. Very right place to put that shloka. That's next to the donation box. Is a good shloka. Right? But similarly, this world is like this, right? We need the right information at the right place at the right time. Then it will help us, right? So that was the right place for Arjuna to get the right instruction, and it was right for us also, right? Because now we are in the parampara. Okay, so we got this point. Not let the things come in. I think we can continue the next session, or do we have like 5 minutes more?
We can go till 3-4 minutes more, then we'll do chanting.
Okay, we'll chanting. Okay, let's see what's the next topic here.
If there are more slides, you can also do part 2.
That's fine. So the whole game is what? Controlling the mind. Gita talks about controlling the mind, right? Everything is about mind. In cricket also, whoever follow cricket also sometimes becomes, if the game becomes intense, it becomes a mind game at that point, right? It becomes a mind game. Whoever is stronger in mind will come victorious. But if your mind is not strong, then you will collapse. That situation will make you collapse. But if your mind is strong, you will win, right? So that's why you see in jobs, the physical labor jobs are more paid or less? Less. In US, it might be different with the plumbing and all of that electrical, but ignore that fact. In India, in general, physical labor is always cheap. But as soon as the job involves more of your mind and intelligence, the rate also. Why?
Because it's difficult.
Because again, when things become more subtle, its value increases, right? If you're able to control your mind, if you know subjects, like difficult subjects for which you need to have a sharp intelligence, sharp mind, then your value is more. But if you know how to move a hammer like this or like that, so you may make railroads and you'll get like whatever few thousand rupees a month. So again, everything is related to mind. And Krishna says this mind can be your best friend or your worst enemy. Worst enemy. Is our mind always our friend? Do we even realize it becomes our enemy? Do we realize it's our friend sometimes? Do we even realize we have a mind? Because for us it feels automatic, right? We don't think, oh, my mind is thinking. No, it's automatic. Do you at any point feel that you're breathing? Are you consciously breathing? It's automatic. Your eyelids are going automatic. So this like a machine. Everything is in motion, right? So we'll come to those aspects also, like why this body is a machine, this and that. So this mind is what we need to control. If we control the mind, then we can solve all the problems. And that's a big science. It's a big science of how to control your mind. And then the best subject matter of controlling the mind you can find in Bhagavad Gita. How to control your mind, you will find in Bhagavad Gita. It's the easiest way. And the easiest way that we can control our mind is by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And we're going to do that now.